Good morning all and welcome to Vlogmas week 3. I haven't finished editing week 2 yet, but I think I'm just going to leave it at the end where I finish decorating the tree, because, well, there's really not much after, because that was on Wednesday, was it? Or Thursday? I think it was actually Wednesday, so that makes it like a week sort of when I started the vlog. But yeah, we're gonna leave the tree. I'm kind of over the tree now, so we're done with the tree. I can't be bothered anymore. It's not gonna look the way I want it to look. I can't find any more lights, and I just really CBA, if I'm honest. So let me talk to you a little bit about this book. This is Mara and Dan by Doris Lessing. I finished this last night. Loved this. This is, I think, the second 5-star read of 2021. At this point now, I think I have read 110 books. Wild, crazy. How did we do this? Last year I read 97 books, which I was just like, 97 books is a lot for a pandemic year, panny D year, and you know, this subsequent year, it's a lot. So that's cool. Clearly being at home has given me more time to read. I thought I just wasted my time doing other stuff, but apparently I still read. A lot of that is definitely down to audiobooks, and I will be doing a 2021 sort of wrap up and looking at stats, but that will come out in January 2022. So yeah, look forward to that. But yeah, Mara and Dan, this was such a good book. An amazing book. Doris Lessing is an amazing storyteller. I felt like I literally had about 5 books in one, and not because they were different, but because we were on this journey for so long with them, and it was brilliant. I really felt like I was with them on this journey. Like, I feel like so much, and I'm going to probably do this in a wrap-up video as well, but I feel like so much of what I read lately, or like recently, because this really took me back to like being a kid and being wrapped up in a book, and really feeling like you were there. Whereas I feel like so much of what I read now is either split into different like books, or the story just the book takes you on just like part of their journey. Whereas with this, we really got to stay with Mara and Dan so that we understood them as characters, so that when they make certain decisions, you're like, okay, I can understand why. Or we could sympathise with them on certain things. Reading this book, I really sort of felt like I knew what was wrong sometimes with other books that I had read. A lot of books I feel like want you to feel a certain way about the character, but you haven't spent enough time with them in other sort of settings with them. The book isn't long enough to really fully build that character, and therefore when a character makes a decision, you're just a bit sometimes like, why would they do this? And it's because you haven't had time with that character. The author hasn't sort of allowed you to spend time with them and really get to know them. Whereas with Mara and Dan, we get to know them. A lot of this is definitely told from the perspective of Mara. At least we follow Mara. It's not from like her perspective, because it's not a first person narration. But we really get just the story of like a girl transforming into a woman. We get a lot of what it's like being a woman, that sort of, you know, there are at some points where they just don't, actually, I've not told you what Mara and Dan is about. Mara and Dan is about a brother and sister who basically live in Ifrik, which is a continent, and they are one time in the middle of the night, taken from basically their house, put into this room until they have to forget their names, and then they're taken to like this village where they basically end up living with this woman. And what is happening is climate change has basically devastated the whole of that continent, or at least the area they're in. For them, they feel like it's basically everywhere. So they're traveling north, because they're told the north is the place where everything is better. So they're traveling north, and it's basically their story of adventure, living in drought. So in the area that the village that they're taken to is just hit with severe drought. There's no water, like it rains probably every 6 years or something, and people just don't know, like, obviously when it's going to rain. And this is all the effects of climate change. And so we follow them in this rock village, and that rock village, I don't know if that's what it's called, but we spend a lot of time with them there, and then like years go by and we sort of come back to them, and it's about, you know, their story from there on. And yeah, so for Mara at least, it's really a journey of like womanhood, and I mean that in the sense that when she's in this village and she's got no food, like her, you know, she doesn't get her period anymore because she hasn't eaten, there's no water, like, you know, she cannot feed her body. And there's a really nice sort of development as she moves to like different places, and how sort of she gets back like her breast, her period comes back, because those are signs that she's becoming healthy again, you know, for someone who previously had it. And for her brother Dan, it's a very like different flip side. For him, it's really dealing with like, I'm gonna say word, but I think that will ruin what like is to come. But being tempted and sort of the dark side of things. And And really, it's just about the journey of humans and the sort of like different paths that one can go on, and what, you know, the different things that can happen to you, especially when you are essentially refugees and you're fleeing certain villages and things like that, and trying to find a refuge and trying to find a better place for yourself. And what this also encapsulates is this really nice section where Mara is talking about love, and she's talking about the love she has for Dan, and Dan is her brother, and just talking about humans' need for love, and just trying to explain that love that she has for her brother. He has been the one that has been there. They have been together since they were like 5 on this journey, and there is no one else in the world that knows the journey, all those things that they have been through, like her brother. And whilst they are different people that are tempted by different things and want different things, the love for him she has for him is just, no one can capture it or anything like that. So Doris Lessing really takes you on this journey. There's so much in here about, you know, the actual physical things that they're going through, being cold, being hungry, being too hot, experiencing new cultures, seeing how different people live, but also learning about the stories from the past and sort of learning what effectively is happening and what climate change has brought. Essentially, this book is set way in the future, but is in a future that has been devastated by climate change. There's essentially a chapter towards the end where it talks about like the people of this world, you know, how essentially the generations before, what they were like in order for it to come to the world that Mara and Dan are living in. And it basically talks about the fact that these people got too greedy and too focused on other things instead of focusing on the fact that the world was dying, you know. And it's us, it's this generation, you know. And, you know, I tried to figure out, maybe it's 2 generations after me that she's talking about, but essentially she's talking about us, she's talking about our generation, and how by focusing on, you know, just things that are not the world and healing the world, it led to the devastation of so many things, that so much of our technology and things like that all sort of eventually gets wiped out, because actually everything is flooding. Countries, islands are going under because the ice caps are melting and we ain't got nowhere else to be, so we are dying. And like, you know, obviously different cultures are dying out, tribes are dying out. There is so much condensed in this book. This book is about 400 pages long. Yeah, 406 pages long. I freaking loved it. The final point I'm going to make about this book is in terms of pacing and sort of storytelling. One, she's an amazing storyteller, but I think her pacing in this is marvellous. Like, sometimes we're really concentrated on like one time of Mara and Dan's life, and then we sort of like zoom out in a way, and the story in time kind of passes, and then we zoom back in. But you never really feel like you're missing chunks of their life. You understand why we have to be sort of present in some areas. In some areas, like, we're just kind of like moving along the journey. And I think she just paces the story really well. I never thought like, hold on a second, this is going a bit too fast. Or, you know, so many things have happened off page. Like, I just never felt like that. I always felt like we were present with them. And I feel like that's something a lot of books that I read like recently, and when I say recent, I mean in like the past 5 years, really lack. They lack the ability to pace and sort of keep the reader on the journey without going into the nitty gritty, or without just making things happen off page entirely, and then you miss a huge chunk of the story. So that is great. My absolute top 5-star read of this year. And I think the only other book I've given 5 stars is Expectations. And that just isn't on the same 5-star level as this. I always knew that Expectations would go down in terms of stars. It was just the best book that I had read at the time, but this supersedes them all. I also finished The Mysterious Mr. Quinn by Agatha Christie. Interesting, obviously not as good as Poirot, but you know, it is crime solving and detective, but in a very different way. But I won't talk about that now. So yeah, week 3. Let's see what week 3 brings for us. I don't really have any plans this weekend. We're gonna go out for dinner for my boyfriend's mum's birthday on Saturday. Like, that's not when her birthday is, but we're taking her out then. And oh, and this scrunchie is one of the things that I got in my ASOS calendar. Today, yeah, it's the 17th, so it's the one for today. I like this. It is the, I don't know where the box is gone now, but the scrunchie thing that has the spiral in it. You know, that one that everyone really liked, was always talking about. Oh, here it is. The Invisibubble. But this one is obviously sparkly, which is nice. So yeah, that's where we're at, guys. I've got a day of work ahead of me, so I'm going to get on with that, and I'll check in with you later. Hello people, and welcome to my kitchen, and welcome to, just hello, it's Saturday. So hello, I'm going to go to this market that's nearby, and hopefully vlog for you. Just to get some last minute Christmas gifts, and I need to go to the post office, and I need to get some more wrapping paper. But I've just opened day 18 of my ASOS calendar, and it is a sheet mask. This is obviously to be expected in something like that. I held it upside down, I just realised, very unhelpful. Soothing Hydra Solution, a Dr. Jot mask. It's got a product that I cannot pronounce, and Quick Soothing Complex. I don't really like these sheet masks, if I'm honest. I just find them a faff to like put on my face and then have to stay still. But we good. This is one I got yesterday. I think I showed it in that vlog clip that I just spoke about yesterday, but who knows. I really like it. Guys, I have to share this with you. So we had burgers for dinner yesterday from this place like nearby us. My friend came around and we also watched a Castle for Christmas, and my boyfriend is Scottish and my friend is also Scottish, and they just roasted it, and it was the perfect film to watch with them because it was just roasted and I was just here for like, are you sure this is not what Scotland is like? But we ordered the burgers, right, and we got this burger and then another box. I ordered one burger, we ended up with an extra burger. So I was eating my burger, obviously, and then I was looking at this one. I kept thinking, why is my burger so spicy? Like, I don't know why this burger is spicy. And I was like, guys, is your burger spicy? They're like, no. So I was just like, you know, it says in here, like, no RMAL. What does that mean? And I showed it to my friend, and she was just like, Sandra, it says normal. And I was just like, oh my god, I could not stop laughing. I was like, how did I read that wrong? In fairness, I put it on my Instagram, and so many people laughed, but other people, some people were just like, because the O is written in a smaller font, like, they can see how I did that. I was also more thinking because there's a space between it. So there's that. And so I was having the other burger today, yes, for breakfast. And picture of health over here. And it's also spicy, so there is no difference. So clearly it just has a spicy mayo and I didn't notice. But the burger I had ordered was the same burger, I just ordered it without tomatoes and with caramelized onions. And this one is just obviously the burger as it comes. I don't know why we got the extra burger, didn't pay for it. But hey ho. So that's this morning. I was meant to go to the gym, but I told you guys, right? Walking and vlogging, is this a great idea? No, let's not do this. 1 second. Here's my cat looking very pensive. She's been sat here for ages. And I just feel like she looks very scared. So, I think I said this maybe, I don't know when I said it, I'm just going to say it again. I hurt my hip on Monday, bending down to pick up a crate when we had a food delivery order. I don't know how, it's just like one of those where you pick up something wrong and you just feel something go, and I felt it in my hip, and it's my left hip where I already feel quite a bit of pain because I broke my left ankle like literally about 20 years ago now. I'm that old. And like it was fine initially, like after the break, and like it was a fracture. It was fine for like years after, and then it wasn't, and then like my ankle started to hurt and I went to physio, and the physio was actually, it's because like your glute is quite weak, like your left glute. And since the pandemic started, actually, like since I stopped like having walks between work and things like that, I've actually felt like a lot of pain in that hip, so I started implementing walk back into my like my lunch times and stuff like that. So I still feel a bit of that pain that I would if I hadn't like exercise or anything like that, because I also do like to like lift some weights and stuff at the gym, like do hip thrusts, because they're actually quite good for just that muscle around there, and like adductors machines and stuff like that. But I haven't been to the gym in 2 weeks, but obviously I hurt my hip doing that, and then like I was bending down that same day to put one of the presents my boyfriend got me arrived, and I put it underneath the tree and my back went. I was just like, I feel so old. So I wanted to go to the gym today, but honestly, like I still feel like I'm in a bit of pain. My kidneys hurt, and I think that's mainly because I've been taking painkillers for my hip. I think perhaps it's just a bit overdone, so I'm not going to take any more of that. But I just have a few things that I need to get done today, so obviously I need to do that shop thing, and I told you I need to go to the post office and stuff like that, and I want to film 2 videos, so I just kind of feel like while I'm going to the gym, I'm a bit scared that I'm going to hurt myself, because honestly it hurts to lift most things, so I'm just like, what am I going to lift up in the gym that, you know, is going to be relatively pain-free? I could obviously find stuff, but CBA. And 2, I'm just a bit lazy, so I've just decided to veto that. I'm going to do some like stretches at home, and perhaps I just use my dumbbells instead. But I'm going to do the things that I need to do today, so that tomorrow perhaps then I can, I'll say perhaps, if we don't go to Edinburgh, then I'll definitely go to the gym, because tomorrow is a very clear day. So this evening we're going out. I already said this. Guys, bye. I'll see you when we're at the market. So I am back from the market, as you would have seen in my clips. We went to the market. It's just a market that's up the road from us, but what I didn't show you guys was that I got my tarot read. So I'll put like a picture here of the cards, because she let me take a picture of the cards, so obviously you can actually remember what they say. But I've been wanting to get my tarot read from her for like 4 months or something, just because like the market's just up the road from us. Like it's not something that I would really do otherwise. I say this, like if I see it I'm like, oh cool. because I do like those sorts of things, but am I that like into it? No. But yeah, so I got it read. It was £10, and like her readings always go towards the Greyhound Trust, which is quite nice. Got one of our final sort of gifts. Actually should have bought a different gift as well, but my boyfriend didn't respond in time and I was already down the road, so yeah. But yeah, market was great. Tried to take videos of some stuff, but didn't take videos of everything. But got these macarons. I love macarons. I actually usually order macarons from this place called Mademoiselle Macarons. I can see that it's not focusing, sorry guys, you won't be able to see how cute some of these are. I'll take a photo and put it here, of course. But then I told myself not to, because I think we already had enough sweet treats in the flat. But then I was walking past this macaron place and I was just like, shop local, as they say, and all of that. So yeah, that's what I did. So yes, I'm feeling quite productive at the moment. I need to film 2 videos today. I think I'm actually going to just film 1, because then later, I think I've already said this, we're going out for dinner, and I just want to make sure I'm not rushing about and stuff like that. Did I get 2 Nutellas or 1 Nutella? I think I got 1. Got 1 cookies and cream. Look, I chose badly. But anyway, see you guys in a bit. Guys, I've been absolutely shite at vlogging, really shite this week. Just so many little things have happened, and then the day's just gone by, and then I swear I've not vlogged. But I've started reading Murder of a Lady. I spoke about this in my books to finish before the end of the month, end of the year really. And I've made quite a good dent in this. I'm on page 189 and the book is 267 pages long. It's looking like a 2-star read for me at the moment. It's quite slow paced in terms of its crime discovery, from the moment we find out about the crime and as we're unraveling it. I just don't feel a sense of suspense or urgency or anything to do with that, and maybe that's to do with the time it's been set in and things like that. And it's not a bad thing that there's no sense of urgency and things like that. It's just we're nearly towards the end and I still feel I just feel bored. I think the pacing is actually really good and everything like that, but it's not thrilling me, you know? I don't find it riveting, I don't find it exciting really. I am intrigued to find out who the murderer is, and because 2 people have now been murdered in this, so it's good that you have a first murder and then another person is murdered, but overall I'm not blown away. I'm not incredibly disappointed, I'm just not blown away. Yeah, very much. A lot of the things in here are quite interesting as well, because there's a lot of talk about the difference between Highlanders and Lowlanders in Scotland, and some of the detectives or inspectors come from the lowland, and then talking about the Highlands and sort of the traditions and folklore that they believe in. So there's that sort of, culture and societal sort of influence behind the book, and it's woven into the characters. But as for the crime aspect and really finding out who did the crime and things like that, I'm just not that interested in the crime. I'm not interested in the people that we suspect of the crime, because I don't really believe any of the people that they have suspected could really have done the crime. But it's also one that's really hard to know who has actually done the crime. But it just feels like, they're suspecting people because you have to suspect someone. You have to have several suspects. So it doesn't actually feel like there's much truth to it. And the sort of inspector or detectives that they have, one of them is just, I don't feel anything about him. I quite like the sleuth, but I feel like he's taken a real step back in some of the investigations, and I'm not really sure why. I thought this was going to heavily feature him, but he's just kind of I want to say a sounding board, but not even really that. So it's a real mixed bag. But we are going to London tomorrow, so I was thinking I would just end this vlog here. I haven't actually started editing week 3, so I don't know how much is in here. But I think actually before I go tomorrow morning, I will show you some of the stuff on my advent calendar, and then I will perhaps start week 4. I had plans to like be more active when I was in London, but with Omicron like flying around, I'm just really unsure of doing more than really like I need to do. So yeah, we'll see about that, but I will show you a really nice Airbnb that we're going to be staying in. Also guys, really sad times. My nose piercing fell out. It fell out on Sunday whilst I was asleep. So annoying. I am so annoyed. I literally have had it for about a month and a bit and it fell out.